Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am happy to be back here with you guys today to review an album by a band that honestly needs no introduction because they are that cool and that good overall. Before I continue, I will address what's going on with my new YouTube channel name and the other stuff you see with the cover photo and the overall YouTube channel, the main image of it. So more on that within the next week, within a bigger video I mentioned about in Killswitch Engage's album review. But in this video though, let's talk about Coheed and Cambria's Vaxis Act III, the father of make-believe. Yeah, oh yeah, it's time, guys. This album came out back on March 14th, same day that Steven Wilson's album came out as well, actually, that I already talked about on this channel. You can go back and find that from a couple weeks ago. This is the 11th album by Coheed and Cambria. They have a career that spans up to 25 years, a lot of great music in between that is a lot of conceptual stuff that revolves around the Amory Wars. This album has 14 tracks. It's 57.5 minutes long. Now, this is basically the third album in this trilogy, you can call it, of the Vaxis series, Vaxis Act I. Honestly, I thought it was a little too long. I didn't like it as much. It was an okay album, but Vaxis Act II was a little bit was better in ways, but still kind of missed a mark by a little bit. It's hard to explain. I don't know. Act II, I feel like I connected with it more. But did Act III really do it for me? Is this the one where I'm like, yeah, this packs a serious punch? Well, the album, of course, continues the Amory War storyline that Coheed's known for within the conceptual aspect of their music. However, Claudio Sanchez, the lead singer, guitarist, and basically the lead writer, having a stroke saying that, I don't know why, he stated that this album was more personal than others, with a focus on personal stories rather than the concept first. So Sanchez has described the album as a midlife crisis. Album's themes revolve around loss, as Yesterday's Loss, the first track we're about to talk about, sees Sanchez ponder for a potential time without his wife, and Mary of Mercy features the return of characters inspired by his late grandparents. Album was released to critical acclaim from many contemporary music critics. Let's get into it, shall we? Yesterday's Loss, the first song. This is one of those gentle yet kind of sounds a little bit on the somber side kind of things, kind of song that really kind of, it sounds like you're already kind of in that reflective point that, is mentioned here, pondering about things, just kind of wondering about stuff. And it really, you can feel it instantly. It's not something to where you have to kind of guess and whatnot. So that's something that I like here that really brings about a good start to the album. I do like it. And it leads into Goodbye Sunshine, which is an interesting track. Coheed's known for having some very intriguing song titles, like You Got Spirit Kid or Lucky Stars. I can go on and on, but of course, you got, I'm going to click on the tab here, but keep going forward, of course. Okay, so, Goodbye Sunshine, one that really picks up the tempo a bit. It's more of a moderately paced song. It's not fast, but it's not slow. One with a brighter tone, but also a little bit of a darker tone to it too. Not something that's overly bright, something that's got a little bit more dark ambience in nature from the feeling of the song as well. Oh, the more I wait, the less the time is mine. New fades to old, watch the truth reveal, the less I know, or the less I want to know. Old habits die hard tonight, I don't want to be your kind. Goodbye sunshine, I'll be the first in line here at your wake. Celebrating the good times, I won't stay mad. We played our parts. Those were the breaks, so maybe some things were hard. It was so worth the good. But all things end, I can't have you back. Some things are better off. Yeah, these lyrics really, again, tapping more than that personal kind of side of things instead of just going more in that conceptual side, again, that Coheed has been known for pretty much throughout the band's history. This song has great instrumental backing behind it. It's something to where it flows nicely. It doesn't feel like I'm bored. I feel into it. This is something that you really can jive with and you can jam to in a way too. So basically getting into Searching for Tomorrow, then I like how the song transitions into that because that song really rocks. This is a song that is got the heavier side of Coheed especially, and it just sounds more like old school Coheed in ways too. And the breakdown of that song, just awesome, super awesome. This song overall kicks a lot of ass. I love it. 3.5 minutes, well worth spent. You need to listen to this song. That's all I gotta say. Next track is the self-titled The Father of Make Believe, and this is one where emotion drives on even further. One where the pacing really brings out the intensity, I feel like, of a song. Intensity in relation to the atmosphere. It is a darker atmosphere. It is one where things feel very uneasy in a way. So, you see them for who they are, bearing their shields and scars, trading memories for miracles, covering up the score before our eyes. Just take my hand, or excuse me, I don't want to skip these lines because this is important with the lyrics. When all the lines blur between all that's wrong and right, just take my hand. When the monsters turn out the lights, and you'll find I'm not how you remember me. I'm the vision that you chose to see, the one you can hate or love as you need. In time's absence more than memories, so now at your darkest I come as promised. I'm the father of make-believe. Pride and grace are feeling outnumbered in moments where nothing is as it seems or it feels, pushed out a place where there are memories. Now enemies fill voids that take up space. One where, again, that darker atmosphere rolls through. This is one where Coheed really decided to take a little bit of a different route with how they constructed the song, and just, man, it really, really hits hard, honestly, in my opinion. One that I feel like is a standout song on the album. Fifth track, Mary of Mercy, that's the next song. I do want to mention the important part of this song. First things first, there's some piano that's being utilized in here, which is not something that is like completely foreign with Coheed. I've heard in a couple songs before. But one where this is a song that really slows things down even further and kind of brings about that conceptual stuff back. So we're back on the track of going to that conceptual side. So you got stuff in here with like lyrics that are lyrics such as out of time and out of place. I made up my mind. I'm getting out. I won't know her for much longer. I'm screaming from the top. Screaming from the top. I just need you to stop. Mary, I'm not going to quit until I can sit at the end of this life with you there beside me. And just to mention too, Mary Amory, I hate Genius, man. By the way, do you guys hate it when you're like on genius.com and you're basically, especially like if you're not on the laptop version or what, I don't know, I feel like it glitches, especially when you're on the tablet. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but this tablet is still fairly new, so I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to read the lyrics. Mary Amory, Sirius Amory's wife, was a major character in the Afterman Ascension and Descension, which was basically a 2-album part series that was released. Not a double album, but it's 2 albums that basically follow one after the other, 2012, 2013. Last time we saw her, she had died and was presumed to now be an entity in the key work Sirius set out to find her at the end of Dark Side of Me. Mary Mercy is at least somewhat reminiscent of Ascension's songs about key entities like Domino the Destitute, Evagria the Faithful, etc. This song may therefore be about someone searching for or encountering Mary as a key entity, perhaps Sirius, who we know seeks to sit at the end of this life with Mary there beside him, as we mentioned in the chorus there as well. I'm getting sick of this thing glitching out. Anyway, you guys know what I'm trying to say. This song, again, follows back in the conceptual suit, but it's a song where it doesn't, like, the tone in general is one that's of unique nature. It's not one where it's overly dark, but it's one where it's like what word do I want to use for this? Because this is something to where it's different. I definitely have a different feeling on this one, especially than of Father of Make Believe, where you're just straight out the gate like, oh wow, this is kind of emotional. It's like the setting overall with the tone is one that is like seeking out the future no matter what, or of how we get there or how long it takes. So Mary of Mercy, definitely a unique song. Blindside Sunny follows, and this is a very fast-paced song, more of like that, kind of like that punk feel you get. Coheed really turned up the intensity, even with some harsh vocals in there, some just more heavy-hitting riffing as well. This is a really cool song in the middle of the record that transitions towards Play the Poet, which continues the aggression as well. Play the Poet has some unique lyrics like, "This place meant for our grave, the dark before dawn. No place to be safe. What does a dead man say when riddled with regret and desperate plays? No sense in hiding that. You know it. Blame yourself. Now play the poet. I can't rely on you to play the game and abide by the rules. Born to play the poet." Yeah, this song continues the aggression that Blindside Sonny had. One where Coheed just doesn't slow things down, keeps things fresh. Doesn't sound like things are really being rehashed, especially throughout the album. We're getting variances in tempo and emotion and delivery. One where I definitely am latched onto it. Now we flip to the second half of the record, especially with One Last Miracle. This is a song where I feel like it's a song that, you know, is kind of like more typical Coheed and being more of a moderate paced song of one that's got a brighter tone to it. Discussing about having that one last miracle. And the chorus is interesting too in itself, with lyrics such as "Fortune, soul, and television." Where our troops coming from so damaged beyond recognition. Ad placement will keep things clever. Preoccupied with the now or never. One last miracle. Stay tuned for the revolution. You know, the very strong wording there, because it all really speaks of reality with the medium of TV these days, basically, or just TV media, I should say. But that song there, instrumentally speaking, not one that's groundbreaking, but one where it continues to, you know, things feel solid through this song, actually. So One Last Miracle, definitely one that I don't mind the song, actually. Corner of My Confidence takes a bit more turn towards feeling more, gosh, the words on the tip of my tongue. Feeling more vulnerable. Feels more vulnerable, once again. Kind of like Mary and Mercy in a way, but actually, I should say sort of, not really, but this one feels more vulnerable, I'd say. Especially, you know, when you have lyrics that are being produced, such as "Lady, I know you're here with me somehow. Wait for the curtains to fall in your past. How could I be so certain on this? Would be the last place I came so close to be the one you choose. Save me, I fear I'm drowning in my doubt." You know, stuff like "Scared to get burned as time slowly turns to the unknown. I corner my confidence, together we break the mold." So "Corner My Confidence" leads into the song "Someone Who Can," which has an exhilarating tone to it. This song really brings out the livelihood and things, and it's one where you just feel like you're having fun with a group of friends or just or anything. It just really feels like the spirit is running high with this track. I love it straight from the get-go. It's one that's real upbeat and positive to me, for the just the way it sounds in general. Got Big Girl right here, of course. She's always uplifting to see and play with as well. Yes. Which leads way into the series of tracks to finish out the album, The Continuum. Now, this is where Coheed's done something like this before, where at the end of like a couple of their albums, they'll have a series of tracks that connect to each other, basically through the starting section of the main title of the track, but of course slightly different in the back half of the title itself. So the Continuum one, which is "Welcome to Forever, Mr. Nobody." This one, the intro always gets me, the way it says like battery low, and then it really picks back up in terms of its intensity, and some of the lyrics are just hard hitting in this song. This is where Coheed's aggression kind of comes back in a way. One where, again, you kind of feel a little bit kind of more in the old school section, in my opinion, with Coheed. And then it leads into The Flood. Oh my goodness, this song really drags things out in its just atmosphere and pacing. This is the longest song on the album. It's almost 6.5 minutes long, and this is one of the best tracks on the album. This song also grew on me. First time I heard this song, I was like, okay, it's decent, but it's like ever since then, when you start trying to it's one of the cool things about just listening to any album in general. If you feel like you really missed something and you're like, well, I want to go back to it, see if I can find something within it, you really start to like piece things together and be like, man, how did I not notice this, or how did I not notice that? The Flood's a great track. This is one where things feel like a flood is happening in real time, and it's a slow-moving flood. I ain't talking like a rapid flash flood, like one of them big floods that kind of build over time, and it's just a slow builder, but it's just like, you know, seeing like memories fading away, or personal things fading away. Just one where it's back to the dark side of things. This is a continuation of Coheed flipping back and forth between different sides of the spectrum of emotion, of delivery, of just the pace, of being different. And it's like, man, this has been a ride. This has been a heck of a ride, and it's just continuing to get even more like up and down. Like you feel the down, the drop even more, or the up, like kind of like a roller coaster growing in size over time. So The Flood is a great song in general. There's even some a little bit of like trumpet in there at the 4.5 minute mark too, which is a nice little touch. Tethered Together is the Continent of Three. Feels kind of like a continuation of the structure of The Flood, but it's a little bit different in terms of how they play how the song goes. But the atmosphere and kind of the pacing is similar to. Sorry about that, my phone storage is running low, but overall, as I was saying about Tethered Together, basically kind of sort of a continuation of the overall pace and kind of structure of The Flood, but played a little bit differently in general. The atmosphere still really reeling you in and keeping you engaged with the song overall. And then The Continent 4, So It Goes, is the final track on the album. The first like 3 to 4 minutes are kind of quirky in a way. It always throws me off with the intro with Claudio's vocals in reverse there the first few seconds. But yeah, kind of like one of those more upbeat, kind of like, I don't want to say poppy like things going on in the first bit of the song, but yeah, kind of, again, just overall upbeat, feeling, sounding more positive in general. And then the last couple bits, ooh, sorry about that, that was a sneeze. But then the last couple minutes of the song, it goes more in But then the last couple minutes of the song, it takes it in a more orchestral direction. Then the last couple minutes of the song, it goes into more of a orchestral direction and overall closes out the song in a unique way. And the overall album in general. So this album, wow, I mean, what? The amount of variance and intensity and what we get is just impeccable on this record. Some even like post-hardcore elements as well on this album too, especially when you hear those more intense songs like Blindside Sunny or Play the Poet. Just really like the atmosphere changes a lot in this record. And yeah, it definitely felt more personal. It definitely kind of felt like you're in the midst of a midlife crisis in a way. With all that said and done, what score do I give Vaxis Act III, The Father of Make-Believe? With the variation in intensity and the overall structure of the record and how it flows very well all together. Man, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm feeling like giving it an 88 to 90 out of 100. Yeah, that high of a score. I'm actually pretty impressed with this record. Out of the 3 Vaxis records we've gotten, this is by far the strongest one, the one that has the most cohesiveness, the most drive behind it. Like I said earlier, Vaxis Act I just, I felt like it was too long and it kind of was monotonous in ways. Act 2 had more drive. I felt like it was still missing something though, or a thing or two, but I felt like it was definitely better in ways. This one takes the cake. Honestly, if we're going to be seriously honest here, this might be arguably one of Coheed and Cambria's best albums they've ever made. We're going to see how I kind of figure that argument out in my head over the next few months as we get close to the end of the year when I do my top albums of the year list at the end of 2025. Going to be very interesting to see how that plays out over time. But yeah, Coheed's best album definitely in a while. This is one where things get shook up quite a bit. I highly recommend listening to this. You're definitely going to find some elements of old Coheed a lot, especially in this one, but really that personal side coming out and in tandem with the conceptual side too. Thank you guys for watching it. I really appreciate it. From this point forward, if every album review minus the Blue Nowhere by Between the Buried and Me, I am going to go through the list in chronological order of albums I want to review starting back from January, which means I am going to touch base on Tremonti's new record. The end will show us how. But when Between the Buried and Me's new album comes out in mid-September, I am going to jump ship to talk about that record, then go back to the order chronological order that I just mentioned. So that's kind of what to expect going forward, album review-wise. But stay tuned for my bigger-ish video that's coming out. I haven't still recorded it yet, so I'm going to try and record that tomorrow if possible. And then it'll be released by probably early next week. We'll see. I've been kind of busy. Weather's been busy too. So thank you guys for watching. Oh, by the way, what did you think about this album? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it overall? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think this is the best Vaxis record of the three? Let me know. Don't be shy. Let's have a great conversation about it. I'll see you guys in the next one.